Texas flooding. Lawmakers gather in Kerrville for hearings. Devastating floods prompt legislative action. Kerrville hearing seeks answers. The devastating Independence Day floods that claimed lives in Kerrville will be the focus of critical testimony Thursday, as Texas lawmakers gather for their second meeting to examine what went wrong and how to prevent future tragedies. The Joint Select Committee on Disaster Preparedness and Flooding is reconvening in Kerrville itself, ground zero for the catastrophic flooding, where they'll hear directly from those affected for the first time. But here's where it gets interesting. This hearing follows an extensive first session where state officials already highlighted significant gaps in the emergency response system. Currently, Texas legislators find themselves in a special session with two urgent mandates: overhaul the state's flood warning infrastructure and approve comprehensive disaster relief funding. The timing couldn't be more critical as communities continue rebuilding from the devastation. Thursday's hearing structure mirrors the previous one, featuring 5 distinct panels of invited speakers. However, what makes this session particularly significant is the addition of public testimony, giving voice to those directly impacted by the floods. The impressive lineup of local leadership scheduled to testify includes, from the Hill Country, Kerr County Judge Rob Kelly, Sheriff Larry L. Letha, Emergency Management Coordinator William B. Dub Thomas, Kerrville Mayor Joe Herring Jr., City Manager Dalton Rice, William B. Rector from the Upper Guadalupe River Authority, plus judges from neighboring Kendall and Real counties, Shane Stolarczyk and Bella Rubio respectively. Representing the Greater Concho Valley, County Judges Lane Carter, Tom Green, Cherie Hardin, Mason, Frank Trull, McCulloch, Jody Foley, San Saba, and Brandon Corbin, Menard. From Central Texas, Travis County Judge Andy Brown, Williamson County Judge Stephen Snell, and San Antonio Fire Chief Valerie Frausto. Additionally, meteorological experts will provide scientific context about the flooding event, while local mental health professionals will address the psychological aftermath facing survivors, an often overlooked aspect of disaster recovery. And this is the part many observers are watching closely. Will local officials contradict state agencies regarding early warning failures? Previous investigations suggested some local authorities weren't properly notified about imminent flooding dangers, despite state awareness. Continue following this developing story for live updates throughout the hearing. Do you believe Texas is doing enough to prepare for increasingly severe weather events? Should more funding go toward prevention or recovery? Share your thoughts in the comments below. Texas flood tragedy. Local officials miss critical emergency briefing. 136 lives lost. In a shocking revelation, it has come to light that key officials from the Texas county most severely impacted by the devastating flash floods on July 4th were notably absent from a crucial emergency planning briefing. This incident, which tragically resulted in the loss of at least 136 lives, has raised serious questions about the preparedness of local authorities. As highlighted by inquiries from state lawmakers on Thursday, the Texas Division of Emergency Management had sent out several emails, 2 of which urged local leaders to participate in briefing calls regarding the impending weather conditions, and another that outlined areas at risk of flooding. These communications were part of a broader effort to equip local officials with the necessary information to brace for the storm that obliterated homes, children's camps, and RVs belonging to tourists, particularly in Kerr County. The floods claimed the lives of 37 children and 71 adults, with 2 individuals still unaccounted for. Kerrville Mayor Joe Herring Jr. expressed his regret during an interview, stating, "I didn't see those emails. I wish I had seen it. I didn't see it." This sentiment reflects a broader concern about communication failures in times of crisis. Adding to the controversy, the Kerr County Emergency Management Coordinator, William B. Dub Thomas, who faced accusations of negligence for allegedly being asleep during the critical hours of the flood, claimed he missed the emergency briefings due to illness. "In my absence, my supervisors and sheriff's office leadership were aware that I was off duty," he explained during a hearing held by the State Select Committees on Disaster Preparedness and Flooding. Thomas admitted to remaining in bed throughout July 3rd and did not take part in the scheduled coordination calls at 10 a.m. and 3 p.m. The hearing in Kerrville followed a lengthy 12-hour session the previous week where legislators examined the state's safety measures. They found themselves divided over whether more proactive steps should have been taken prior to the storm or how effectively the life-saving operations were executed in its aftermath. As the summer continues, 3 individuals remain missing in Texas, underscoring the alarming trend of deadly flash floods across the United States, which highlights the increasing unpredictability of our changing climate. During the hearing, Texas Select Committees on Disaster Preparedness and Flooding listened to testimonies from various officials, including Kerrville Mayor Herring, City Manager Dalton Rice, Kerr County Judge Rob Kelly, Sheriff Larry Letha, and Emergency Management Coordinator Thomas. Notably, Texas Lieutenant Governor Dan Patrick specifically criticized Judge Kelly for his absence on July 4th, stating, "I don't know where you were on day 1 on July 4th, but you should have been here. You should have been here directing that response. That's your responsibility." His remarks were met with applause from the audience, indicating a shared frustration over the lack of leadership during the crisis. As the hearing progresses, lawmakers are gathering public testimony from leaders of other affected areas, meteorologists, flooding specialists, and representatives from mental health resource centers, as outlined in the meeting agenda. Texas Senator Charles Perry opened the meeting by acknowledging the emotional weight of the discussions ahead, stating, "This hearing is going to be a little more emotional, a little harder than the last one, rightfully so. But there will be boundaries. It's not a place where you're going to throw rocks at each other or accuse each other. It's a place where we're going to try to garner information to be better for it." The previous hearing featured testimonies from officials responsible for managing the rivers in the region known as Flash Flood Alley, as well as the head of the state's Division of Emergency Management and members of the Department of Public Safety. This situation raises critical questions about emergency preparedness and response. How can local officials ensure they are adequately informed and ready to act in the face of such disasters? What measures can be implemented to prevent such oversights in the future? We invite you to share your thoughts and opinions in the comments below.